Evening, I'm Judy Woodruff. On the NewsHour tonight, tensions mount over North Korea's missile test as questions on dealing with the nuclear threat follow President Trump on his trip to Europe. Then, while Republicans work to salvage their health care reform bill, we talk with the governor of New Hampshire about what the plan could mean for the nation's opioid epidemic. And
I got everything, I got nothing.
Singing the blues together, two musical greats join forces for a new album and tour that's bringing joy to the blues.
Our job as musicians is to help them get loose and have a good time and think good about themselves.
All that and more on tonight's PBS NewsHour.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by
moving our economy for 160 years. BNSF, the engine that connects us.
Supporting social entrepreneurs and their solutions to the world's most pressing problems. SkollFoundation.org.
the Lemelson Foundation, committed to improving lives through invention in the U.S. and developing countries. On the web at lemelson.org. Supported by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. More information at macfound.org. And with the ongoing support of these institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
From North Korea today, new defiance. The communist regime's leader, Kim Jong-un, insisted that he will never negotiate away his missile and nuclear programs. But the world's highest diplomatic body held an emergency session on how to get the North to do just that. Correspondent Nick Schifrin begins our coverage.
Thank you, Mr. President.
This afternoon in the UN Security Council, the U.S. tried to rally the world to punish and isolate North Korea.
It is a dark day because yesterday's actions by North Korea made the world a more dangerous place.
U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley said North Korea's test of an intercontinental ballistic missile requires a global response.
They have not had any care for Russia or China in this. They have not listened to anything that you've said. They're not going to listen to anything that you say. And so it's time that we all stand together and say we will not put up with this action.
Haley is trying to lead a diplomatic effort to change North Korean behavior. The U.S. needs Chinese and Russian help, but Beijing and Moscow have their own strategy.
We call for all interested states to act with restraint rather than provocation and warmongering.
We call on all the concerned parties to exercise restraint, avoid provocative actions and belligerent rhetoric, and demonstrate the will for unconditional dialogue.
Tuesday's missile launch crossed the intercontinental threshold the U.S. had been hoping to prevent. In science terms, the missile advance was incremental. But U.S. officials tell the NewsHour it was in a new, previously unseen configuration. It was fired from a mobile launcher, had a re-entry vehicle, and was two-stage, as seen on North Korean TV. The immediate American response was its own launch. The U.S. and South Korean militaries fired tactical missiles that can be rapidly deployed. And South Korea released a video of what an attack on North Korea would look like. Blowing up North Korean missiles and video game graphics of a South Korean jet bombing Pyongyang. But as of now, the focus is very much on diplomacy and increasing pressure on North Korea. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson released a statement hours after the missile launch, saying any country that helps North Korea is aiding and abetting a dangerous regime, and that all countries must show North Korea there are consequences to their pursuit of nuclear weapons. In a tweet this morning, President Trump expressed frustration that China hasn't done more, writing, "So much for China working with us, but we had to give it a try." So the administration is casting a wide net. Today, Mr. Trump talked with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi by phone. North Korea sells missile technology and receives remittances from Africa to Southeast Asia. To try and stop that income, today the U.S. delivered a threat to China and others.
There are countries that are allowing, even encouraging, trade with North Korea in violation of UN Security Council resolutions. Such countries would also like to continue their trade arrangements with the United States. That's not going to happen.
The U.S. military in South Korea says it's being, quote, self-restrained. That policy will remain until diplomacy plays out. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.
We'll take a detailed look at the question of sanctions and North Korea right after the news summary. In the day's other news, the city of Hamburg, Germany, braced for mass demonstrations involving up to 100,000 people at this weekend's summit of the leaders of 20 top industrialized nations. Last night, police used water cannons to disperse crowds. Today saw hundreds of people dressed as zombies staging a peaceful march. Tomorrow, activists plan what they call a Welcome to Hell march to greet President Trump and the leaders of Russia, China, and Turkey. Mr. Trump arrived in Warsaw, Poland this evening to begin his European trip. Tomorrow, he'll hold talks with his Polish counterpart before delivering a speech in Warsaw Square. Poland hosts several thousand U.S. troops as part of its NATO defenses. An American soldier has been killed in Afghanistan. The Pentagon says Private First Class Hanson Kirkpatrick of Wasilla, Alaska, died in a mortar attack on Monday. It happened in Helmand Province in the south. 2 other soldiers were wounded. 7 U.S. troops have been killed in Afghanistan this year. In Syria, artillery and airstrikes pounded away today at Raqqa, the Islamic State's self-styled capital. Kurdish-led militia fighters backed by U.S. coalition planes are steadily advancing into the city. John Ray of Independent Television News is there and filed this report.
Into the city of Jihadi John and countless barbarities, a road stretching back to terror in London, Manchester and beyond. It lies in ruins now. We pass the body of an ISIS fighter, his caliphate decomposing with him. Beyond the sand barrier is the wall of the ancient Medina that has now fallen to the Kurds. We have obtained exclusive pictures from a drone above this urban battlefield. They show the devastating power of the West's warplanes and missiles. The so-called Islamic State is being wiped off the map. The route to the front line involves a sprint across Sniper Alley and careful steps over rubble that often conceals mines. We are close enough to hear ISIS radio. Now is the time for jihad, a commander urges his beleaguered forces. The Kurds are claiming this as a great victory. They have taken the old city walls after a month-long blood-soaked slog through the streets of Raqqa. But ahead of them now, heavily armed ISIS fighters, booby-trapped buildings and suicide bombers. These soldiers took up arms against ISIS from the start. They believe they're moving in for the kill.
I want a free Raqqa for my family, for everyone in here, for every family in Syria.
Is ISIS finished in Raqqa now?
Yes, it's finished.
Inside the old city, perhaps 100,000 civilians are trapped, caught between airstrikes and 4,000 ISIS fighters. Those who can escape run. Home is this makeshift camp in the desert. We have left hell behind, they tell us. But in one corner, separated from the rest, the brides and children of ISIS. Their husbands and fathers are dead or in jail. Here, ISIS might measure its future in weeks or months, but its days are numbered.
That was John Ray of Independent Television News. A gunfight between two armed gangs in northern Mexico left at least 14 people dead early today. It happened in Chihuahua State when members of rival drug cartels got into a shootout. Drug violence has pushed homicides in Mexico to their highest point in 20 years. Pro-government militias in Venezuela attacked opposition lawmakers today with sticks and metal bars. They stormed into the Congress in plain sight of security forces. 4 lawmakers were injured, and at least one had to be taken to a hospital. It was the latest incident in Venezuela's growing political violence. The killing of a police officer in New York City drew widespread condemnation today. An ex-convict who ranted about police online shot Mia Sotis Familia at close range in her mobile command post in the Bronx last night. He was killed moments later by other officers. In a statement today, U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions cited a string of attacks on police in recent years. He said, quote, "These killings must stop." In economic news, the European Union and Japan reached an agreement in principle on a far-reaching free trade deal. Their leaders plan to endorse it at a summit tomorrow. And on Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost a point to close at 21,478. The Nasdaq rose 40 points, and the S&P 500 added 3. Still to come on the NewsHour, could new economic sanctions stall North Korea's nuclear program? A change of mind. A new poll suggests the British now want to stay in the European Union. New Hampshire's governor on how the Republican health care bill could affect his state's opioid epidemic that's raging, and much more. There are no easy answers and few good options when it comes to dealing now with North Korea. We look at whether new economic sanctions, like those being considered at the United Nations, could change the trajectory of the country's nuclear ambitions. With David Cohen. He served as Undersecretary for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence at the Treasury Department during the Obama administration. He also served as the Deputy Director of the Central Intelligence Agency from 2015 to 2017. And John Mearsheimer, a West Point graduate and former Air Force officer. He writes extensively on strategic issues and is a political science professor at the University of Chicago. He also works with the U.S. intelligence community. And we welcome both of you to the NewsHour. I want to start with you, David Cohen. We heard in Nick Schifrin's report, Ambassador Nikki Haley referring to countries doing business with North Korea in violation of UN sanctions. What is the picture? Give us a picture of the financial and business dealings other countries do right now with the North.
Well, most of it is illicit, with the exception of the trade with China, and that tends to be in coal, in minerals, and very few other items. There are other countries around the world, in Africa in particular, in the Gulf, where you have North Korean laborers working and where you have North Korea selling weapons to these countries. That is in violation of UN Security Council resolutions, in violation of the sanctions, and that those transactions tend to flow through financial institutions in China in a way that is intended to be disguised from the international community because they are illicit transactions.
Now, you've written that new sanctions could be enacted in a way that would put real pressure on the North. What would those look like?
Well, what they would look like are sanctions principally focused on Chinese front companies and Chinese institutions that are facilitating this illicit trade. If you look at the way that North Korea engages with the world today, there are a few nodes, 20, 40, 100 nodes, but it's a limited set of these companies and these financial institutions in China where the bulk of the financial activity occurs. We could focus on those nodes, squeeze those nodes, and as a result of that, squeeze North Korea.
And John Mearsheimer, you've taken a look at this. Do you think that could work?
No, I don't think sanctions will work, Judy, and I think there are two reasons for that. One is that North Korea is not going to give up its nuclear weapons. Indeed, it would be crazy to give up its nuclear weapons. The United States is interested in regime change, and nuclear weapons are the ultimate deterrent. So you would have to inflict enormous pain on North Korea to get it to give up those nuclear weapons. I mean, you would really have to put tremendous economic pressure on them. And you cannot do that in large part because the Chinese will not allow you to do it. For China, North Korea is a vital strategic asset. For China, it's imperative that the North Korean regime remain in place and that the regime not be toppled. Therefore, if we try to put really significant pressure, economic pressure on Pyongyang, the Chinese will just move in and counter it and make sure that the North Korean regime survives.
But again,
that regime is determined to keep its nuclear weapons.
David Cohen, what about that?
So, I mean, John's right that the North Korean regime looks at the nuclear weapons program as the guarantor of regime survival. But there is the possibility that there is a wedge that can be driven between the nuclear weapons program and Kim Jong-un's desire to stay in power. And the way to drive that wedge is by putting coercive diplomatic and economic pressure on the regime in North Korea. We will need China to make this effective. We cannot do it over China's objections.
But his point is China won't do it.
Well, I think we have not fully tested that proposition. And one of the purposes served by the sanctions that were done last week and the sanctions that we can do is to encourage China to take this more seriously and to work with us.
John Mearsheimer, why can't that happen?
Let me respond to David's point.
Sure.
What President Trump wanted to do was he wanted to get the Chinese to put significant pressure on North Korea to stop these nuclear tests and to reach some sort of modus vivendi with the United States. But the Chinese could not do that. And the reason the Chinese could not do that, and the reason they won't be able to implement David's suggested policy, is because the Chinese have remarkably little leverage over North Korea. And the North Koreans fully understand that. And the North Koreans don't play along with the Chinese when they put pressure on them, because the North Koreans fully understand that the Chinese need North Korea to survive. And once the North Koreans understand that, it gives them significant room to basically poke the Chinese in the eye.
And David Cohen, what about his point that that China really does have limited leverage, not as much as I think some people have been thinking?
No, they actually have quite a lot of leverage in both the illicit and the illicit, financial activity that goes on in North Korea. They can squeeze North Korea on the coal sales. They can squeeze North Korea on their illicit financial activity. They will do it to an extent that doesn't cause a destabilizing situation in North Korea, but they can do it in a way that can make North Korea more interested in a potential negotiated.
So you're talking about threading a needle here, John Mearsheimer. I mean, it sounds like we're talking about something in between doing nothing and doing a lot more.
Well, you can do a little bit more, but the point is to make the North Koreans give up their nuclear weapons, you have to put a great deal of pain, a great deal of punishment on them. And the Chinese are not going to play that game, because the Chinese are heavily dependent on maintaining a sovereign North Korea. And the last thing they want to do is see the West bring North Korea to its knees and then see North Korea crumble and run the risk of South Korea incorporating North Korea into a greater Korea. This would be a strategic disaster for the Chinese. And this is why we have so little leverage over North Korea when we try to go through the Chinese.
What about that?
Well, I think that John and I agree that it will require an extraordinary amount of pressure to bring the North Koreans to the table. My point is that we ought to try. The alternative is to sort of accept a North Korea with a nuclear weapon, with an ICBM. There is the potential that we can use pressure working with the Chinese to thread that needle, to bring the North Koreans to the table and to find a way to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula, which the Chinese have been very clear about for many years is also their policy preference, is a denuclearized Korean Peninsula.
And perhaps this would bring them to the table to talk in that way. All right, we're not going to resolve. Go ahead. I think what we agree. John Mearsheimer, quick comment.
Yeah, just very quickly. Let's assume that David's right, and we can put tremendous pressure on the North Koreans. Do we really want to do that? Do we want to back a nuclear-armed state run by Kim Jong-un into a corner? Isn't that the most likely scenario where they might use nuclear weapons when they're desperate?
Well, I think the most likely scenario is if we threaten them militarily. And I think it's very important we exercise restraint militarily in the short term. I think this is a long-term plan that needs to be implemented smartly, but it can be accomplished.
I think what everybody agrees is there's a lot at stake here. Yes. David Cohen, John Mearsheimer, thank you both.
You're welcome.
In what was perhaps the most consequential decision in Britain this century, voters are now having second thoughts about their choice to leave the European Union. A new opinion poll shows a majority of British people now want to stay, and business leaders are warning their once flourishing economy will flounder unless the right compromise is reached with the EU during exit negotiations. Add to that, a deeply divided government after the recent election has left a hung parliament, and it has become harder for many to keep calm and carry on. Special correspondent Malcolm Brabant reports.
Aldborough in eastern England. This is Brexit Beach. The town's centuries-old fishing tradition is on its deathbed. In common with kindred coastal communities around the country, fishermen voted to leave the European Union. They believe excessive regulation from Brussels is killing their industry. 1 year after Britain's so-called Independence Day, Mark Foreman is worried that the country's commitment to Brexit is wavering.
I thought that would improve the fishing situation, but now I've got my doubts. I'd still have come out anyway for everything else. I want the country to be run by British people, not by the EU. I think there's too many people in power who are against Brexit, and I think there's so many people with money tied up in Europe, they just don't want to come out.
The government has promised to revitalise the fishing industry post-Brexit. But in the current climate, Kirk Stripling fears betrayal.
I'm really afraid that we'll be sold down the river. They'll do a deal over something else and sacrifice us fishermen. We're in a ludicrous situation where we only catch what's in season at the time and which is on our doorstep. And quite often we can have loads of fish in the sea right here and we've got no quota to catch it. So we sit here and starve to death while the fish swim by.
Polar opposite views about Europe prevail 80 miles away in Cambridge, a historic seat of learning and innovation. This is Britain's Silicon Valley, whose ethos is that science is collaborative and requires an international, frontier-free mentality. But campus director Professor Michael Wakelam fears its cutting-edge biotech research and development could be jeopardised by what some perceive as the xenophobic nature of Brexit.
We will have a reduced access to the talent pool within Europe. And secondly, what Brexit says about our approach as a country is that people no longer want to work with us. There is a perception that Britain is no longer a welcoming place for talented people to come.
Cambridge-based entrepreneur David Cleveley specialises in turning great ideas into profitable businesses. A self-proclaimed angel investor, he disputes the Brexit mantra that leaving the EU would enable British companies to exploit untapped markets in the rest of the world.
We do business in some of the most difficult countries, in Pakistan or in Nigeria or in other countries, for example, in South America. The amount of extra margin there is there for increasing those exports is quite frankly limited. My concern about Brexit is that we have a big market just a few miles away, and we're not going to be able to access it as freely as we could before.
According to a new opinion poll, the result of the Brexit referendum would be reversed if it was held today. The survey showed that a clear majority, 54%, would vote to remain within the European Union and 46% would decide to leave. It's quite clear that many Britons regret the decision they made last year and perhaps wish that the Brexit mechanism could be reversed. According to experts, that's technically possible, but it's unlikely to happen. At Trinity College, Professor Catherine Barnard believes the recent election, which left Britain with a minority government, has further undermined its hand during protracted talks to withdraw from Europe.
In reality, the UK is in a somewhat weak bargaining position. The famous phrase is to have your cake and eat it, that it would be possible both to lead the European Union but have the best bits of membership. And it's always been clear that the EU were not going to allow this, because why would they? It's not in the EU's interests for a country to do what the UK did, and so it's in the EU's interests, as Chancellor Merkel has said, is to look after the EU 27, which means being tough on the UK.
This monument commemorates the Great Fire of London, which wiped out much of England's capital in 1666. Many economists fear that Brexit will have a similar impact on the City of London, Europe's biggest financial services centre. The Japanese bank Nomura has said it'll move some of its operations to Germany after Brexit. Others may join the exodus. This week, a City of London delegation is heading to Brussels to appeal for a free trade deal to preserve a sector that generates 12% of Britain's income. Jens Torpe is the Danish publisher of a daily business newspaper.
I think inevitably that a number of bankers and institutions would have to move over to the continent. It's about 500,000 people working here. I think you'd at least see some 50,000 moving out. So I think it's going to have quite dramatic implications for the city. The latest growth figures for Britain puts us down on the same par as Italy. We used to be #1 in the EU, so everybody agrees that there is a crisis coming.
Come on, have it up now, come on, come on! London's cosmopolitan borough market is flourishing again after last month's Islamist terror attack in which 8 people were murdered. Some traders favour a so-called soft Brexit, which would permit the continued free movement of goods and people from the continent. A hard Brexit would mean the re-imposition of import tariffs and restricting the migration of EU citizens. Mariana Kolokotroni from southern Greece has been running this stall for 7 years.
It is a little bit scary, I have to say, but I am trying to remain positive, and I really hope that nothing is going to change, because it's not of the interests of anyone, really.
Do you prefer mild or spicy?
Tia Wunderer is from Italy's border with Austria, and she fears customs duty resulting from a hard Brexit would compound price increases on her meat products, caused by the British currency dropping in value after the referendum.
So the exchange rate, it already has affected it, so the euro has much more value than it used to be. So the business already loses money on that. And there's only so much we can put our prices up to be still fair and competitive. Doors open.
Britain's tourism and hospitality industry generates 10% of the nation's income. It relies heavily on foreign workers. 25% of the 3 million people in this field comes from the European Union. The duty manager, Bashir Issa, is originally from Somalia.
British people are not working in the industry, then we need to have the European community or anywhere in the world coming to us with their expertise, helping us in the industry to grow.
The industry wants to preserve freedom of movement and is lobbying the government hard. Spokesman Vernon Hunt.
We believe that the economy must be put first, that the British industry, especially, of course, from our perspective, hospitality businesses, their needs and requirements are put first.
Independent doesn't mean isolated. It's an interactive independence. Where do people get this idea that when you're independent, you're closing your doors? They're mad.
Nick Ward relishes the freedom of motorcycling. Independence and national sovereignty drive his continued support for Brexit.
There's more to it than economics. What Brexit actually means is that you want to control your own borders and you want to make your own laws, and that is your starting point for negotiations. Why do so many people want to come here in the first place? Britain is probably one of the least xenophobic or racist country in the whole of Europe. Try being black and playing football in Poland. We want to interact and we want to maintain this beautiful island for everybody and generations to come.
British attitudes towards Europe are turning as people belatedly agree with the so-called Remainers that pre-referendum pro-Brexit rhetoric was flawed. Business leaders hope the prospect of economic trouble will convince the government to compromise with Brussels. On Brexit Beach, Britain's schisms are as deep as ever. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Malcolm Brabant in Aldborough.
Stay with us. Coming up on the NewsHour, the toll insecticides are having on bees. Two renowned blues musicians team up on a new album. And what it's like to be the first Muslim cover girl. But first, let's turn to the Senate Republican bill to overhaul parts of Obamacare. The Senate may be in recess this week, but Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is working behind the scenes to craft a bill that will appeal to enough Republican votes to pass. One of the key stumbling blocks, the provision to cut Medicaid spending by more than $770 billion over 10 years. That has sparked serious concern among many governors, among other reasons, over what it could mean for opioid abuse treatment and related health needs. The Medicaid expansion under the Affordable Care Act provided new coverage to many. Reportedly, Senator McConnell has been considering a $45 billion fund to deal with opioid abuse. New Hampshire is one state that's dealing with a crisis. It has the second highest rate of opioid deaths relative to its population. I spoke with the state's Republican governor, Christopher Sununu, a short time ago, and started by asking him why he does not support the current Republican Senate proposal.
Well, I think it's important to start off by understanding that Obamacare has failed. It is not sustainable. It's not affordable. Specifically here in New Hampshire, the healthcare exchange is really on the brink. We're looking at upwards of 40% cost increases to individuals. That's just not affordable to anyone. So I do applaud the Senate and the House's efforts and the Trump administration's efforts to really take Obamacare as a reform that has to happen. That being said, what they're really doing here is they're kind of conflating two issues. They're looking at Medicaid, traditional Medicaid entitlement reform, which absolutely has to be a viable discussion in Congress, and Obamacare reform, and they're really putting the two together. That's the end result there. The cost implications, if you will, are really drastic to the state of New Hampshire. You're looking at over $1.5 billion at best over the next 10 years. That's just not a challenge for us in the state. It's not practical. It's just not practical at all. We have no sales tax. We have no income tax. We don't have the taxes to raise, nor would we ever want to, like other states do. So we have to find a better solution there. So I commend them for taking up the challenge. But right now, as it sits, this Senate plan is not a viable solution for this state.
So, Governor, specifically with regard to the opioid use crisis in your state of New Hampshire, what would this bill, this proposal mean for that?
Well, you know, we have been on kind of ground zero, if you will, for the opioid crisis. We have one of the fastest growing economies, one of the best qualities of life. Because we're a small state, that allows us to be very innovative in our approach. And so we've been able to sustain great success in the state in spite of the opioid crisis. But part of that, when you look at whether it's Medicaid expansion or other programs that have allowed individuals to get care, recovery services, medical care that they otherwise may not have would have been able to receive, that's been a big boon for our state. It's been a big boost for those individuals and allowed those doors to be open to them in ways that otherwise it wouldn't have. So when you look at both the cost implications, how Medicaid expansion right now as is proposed to be widowed down, if you will, over the next few years, again, those costs are real severe, and there's, again, something that just isn't practical for the state of New Hampshire.
What would it mean to the program that you have in place now in New Hampshire?
Well, when you look at folks that are coming through recovery or treatment or folks that are looking to fight that addiction, you have to remember addiction with opioids is not something that you get through in a couple years. It's a lifelong struggle. It's a lifelong kind of battle, if you will, that folks have to have the programs in place, not just for 6 months or a year, but for the long term. And we have to have those recovery programs. We have to have those treatment options in place. With opioid addiction comes some very severe medical conditions as well, whether liver or heart issues that come with that. Right now, we're able to treat those. We're able to be preventative with a lot of those, as opposed to just allowing, the old way of doing things where everyone would just pile into the emergency room. So going back, taking instead of 1 or 2 steps back, but 3 or 4 steps back, all the way to the point where we're cutting services that pre-Obamacare were in place, right? We're looking at a system that, for New Hampshire at least, is worse than where we were even pre-Obamacare. So my message to the Senate is very clear. Look at Obamacare reform as is. Look at that program, what we can do to reform it. Understand that the opioid crisis is affecting a lot of states, not just New Hampshire. Understand what those implications might be. It's not just in the funding, but it's in the flexibilities that states have to have. You have to have a flexible system. And being able to do that will allow us as governors to implement the programs that much easier.
Now, it's been reported, as I think you know, that the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is looking at possibly adding something like $45 billion to deal with opioid abuse around the country over a period of years. Would that make a difference?
When you look at $45 billion to deal with the opioid crisis, absolutely that's going to make a difference. There's no doubt about it. If it's money going in to kind of, hopefully get votes in this Senate bill, that's a different issue. I'm not going to sign on to that, but there's no doubt that more resources would help this crisis. It allows recovery centers to have more longer-term programs, open up treatment options. We can break down some of the permitting process to get more of those beds open for individuals, peer-to-peer recovery services. We've been able to be very, very innovative here in New Hampshire, really on the cutting edge, and that's how we've been able to sustain such a growing economy, such a high quality of life in spite of the crisis. We don't want to start throwing a wrench in those gears right now and slow down the incredible progress we've been able to make in New Hampshire.
I ask you about that money because specifically other governors, I know John Kasich of Ohio and others who have an opioid crisis in their own states have said that's just not enough money to make a difference over a long number of years.
Well, as I said earlier, this is something that is not going to get solved in the next couple of years. It is going to be a lifetime issue for a lot of these folks. We have to have lifetime-style programs in place to kind of ease them not just off of the opioids they're in, making sure they have peer-to-peer support recovery programs, making sure they can enter the workforce and hopefully get on better private insurance plans as opposed to just relying on expanded Medicaid or the health care exchange. So when you're able to create systems that work efficiently, I'm an engineer by trade. I'm all about creating an efficient system. When you're able to do that and implement that, there's a lot of savings you can have on the back end. I do believe dollars can help. There's no doubt about that. But when you look at the total implication of this Senate bill, $1.5 billion at best over the next 10 years, I don't mean to sound glib, but $45 billion here and there isn't really making the dent and really making the long-term effects that we have to be addressing as part of long-term Medicaid reform.
Governor, one other thing that the argument the Republicans in Congress have made on Medicaid, and that is, and the president's budget director, Mick Mulvaney, has said Medicaid is unsustainable on the path that it's on now. It's grown way too expensive. It cannot continue like this. Cuts have to come. There has to be a change in the trajectory.
Well, I would absolutely agree with that. When you look, Washington is dealing, the Senate and the House and the President are dealing with nearly $20 trillion in debt. That is real money owed to someone, and a lot of it overseas. So our spending over the last 8 years has gone completely out of control, and so they do have the challenge ahead of them of reeling that spending back in, creating more efficient systems. Reeling it in is one thing. Going above and beyond from even where we were 8 years ago is another story, and that's where we kind of draw the line and say, look, let's deal with Obamacare here. Let's deal with Medicaid entitlement reform in another discussion. Another discussion that, frankly, has to probably be a longer discussion, have to really get the input from the states, nothing that should be rushed. So if we can deal with those two issues separately, I think we can have just much better outcomes and a much more viable solution for all the states.
Governor Chris Sununu of New Hampshire, thank you very much for talking with us.
Thank you, Judy.
Time now for our weekly segment on science and technology, the leading edge. And this week, Hari Srinivasan is here with an update on a pair of important stories.
There are important findings and analyses on a pair of stories we've long been covering, the health of bees and the impacts of climate change. A recent study looked at the economic consequences of climate change and concluded it will make the U.S. poorer and more unequal if present trends continue. The South would be hit the hardest. A different set of studies looked at the health of bees in connection to insecticides used in crops. Bees are critical for our global food production. Honeybees alone are responsible for pollinating $15 billion of U.S. crops. The new papers demonstrated the popular insecticide used in agriculture called neonicotinoids can be harmful to bees. Miles O'Brien is with us once again. Miles, we've been looking at, or scientists have been thinking about, the chemicals that are used in insecticides as kind of one of the #1 culprits for colony collapse for a long time. So what's so new about these studies?
Well, you're right, Hari. There have been a lot of studies in the past looking at bees and these insecticides, which are coated on the seeds and absorbed, they call it systemic, to the plants. They've been widely used for a decade, an alternative to spraying insecticides on the plant as they grow. The concern is they can harm pollinators, but so far that's only been a theory in the lab. So separate teams in Europe and Canada tested the possible link between these neonics and bee losses in the field for the first time. They placed bee colonies close to crops that have been treated with the neonicotinoids and other colonies far away from agriculture. They sampled a variety of specimens, pollen, nectar, larvae, bees themselves, of course, and they say the insecticide is not only found in the crops they are meant to protect, but it spreads to other plants in the area that are attractive to bees, and it persists for months.
So how does it affect the bees, and what happens to the whole colony?
That's the key question, connecting those dots. Researchers at York University in Ontario did a second test in the laboratory mimicking what they found in the field. They exposed bees to a small amount of the neonicotinoid-infused pollen, and those bees stopped, get this, maintaining the hygiene of their hive. Typically, bees will remove sick or dead bees, but the insecticide-exposed bees, for some reason, stopped doing this, leaving sick bees inside the hive. And the beehive became a pigsty, if you will. I caught up with Nadia Setkoff, one of the lead authors of the York University study.
What we found in our study was that worker bees from exposed colonies died 23% sooner. So that's a very big hit to the colony. They also had abnormal foraging behaviors. We found also that the colonies had a difficulty replacing a queen. So over time, we had more and more queenless colonies, which, unless there is an intervention, the colonies will perish.
At first blush, this study seems to put to rest the neonic collapse debate. But in a separate study, also published last week, a European team found some bee colonies in Germany that thrived, even though they were close to fields with neonic-treated crops. This led researchers to believe there must be some other geographical or environmental factor in play. Maybe some bees are more susceptible to the toxins depending on their location, for example. In short, the study suggests the effects of neonics on bees are inconsistent, but that study was funded in part by the German chemical and pharmaceutical giant Bayer, which happens to be the maker of neonicotinoids. Now, in a statement, Bayer says it remains convinced that neonicotinoid seed treatments have no short or long-term negative effects on bees, and that these seed treatments are a useful and effective tool for farmers.
In the totally different category of climate science, there was a big study this week, and usually when climate studies come out, we're looking at environmental impacts. What was interesting about this one was it was looking at economic impacts. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this one is a very impressive study on climate change. Scientists in the climate realm teamed up with economists, the dismal science meeting climate science, if you will, and they looked at the economic impacts of climate change as you project out to the future. And perhaps the most interesting finding was that climate change will hit different socioeconomic classes differently. Here's Berkeley scientist and lead author of the study, Solomon Shung.
In the south, where it's hot and along the coast, we might see populations losing the equivalent of 20% of their income. Whereas in the cooler northern and western regions, we actually see that populations might benefit a little. And because the north tends to be wealthier and the south tends to be poorer, what we see is that in the future, climate change is going to increase economic inequality within the United States.
So how does the U.S. fare overall?
Well, the team estimates that for each degree Fahrenheit increase in global temperatures, the U.S. economy overall loses about 0.7% of gross domestic product, with each degree of warming costing more than the last as you go up. So the U.S. as a whole is not a winner economically.
So does it break down by industry? Say, for example, agriculture might be hit harder, or real estate?
Well, agriculture, especially in the Midwest, will likely suffer immensely. That seems obvious. But it could be comparable to the Dust Bowl in the 1930s, according to these researchers. Of course, real estate on the coastline, that's another obvious one. But here's a surprise. The team found the biggest economic impact of climate change was in healthcare. They expect people living in the South especially will be hit more with heat-related complications like heat stroke. Managing that and dealing with the victims is, of course, very expensive.
And this is happening to a population that's already poorer than the general average in the United States.
And there's the vicious cycle.
All right, Miles O'Brien, thanks so much.
You're welcome, Ari.
Finally tonight, a pair of blues greats are collaborating on a new album and a North American tour. They've known each other for decades, but their joint project has only recently come to fruition. Jeffrey Brown has the story.
Now I can't see my life without you.
The Chautauqua Auditorium in Boulder, Colorado recently, at the start of a new tour by two musicians who've been doing this a long time, but never together.
I'm a loser. I'm a winner.
And while it's called the blues, 75-year-old Taj Mahal and 65-year-old Keb Mo are feeling nothing but joy.
That's what we like about music. That's why we do music. To share the fun. Life brings a lot of strife. In the digital age, it's even more intense, and a lot of people don't know how to get loose of it. So our job as musicians is to help them get loose and have a good time and think good about themselves.
Born Henry St. Clair Fredericks, Taj Mahal is a living legend in the world of roots and blues music, a singer-songwriter who plays many instruments and draws from many musical influences.
This morning, baby, feeling all. Am I wrong?
Kevin Moore, Keb Mo's given name, spent many years in various R&B, rock, and pop bands until he went out on his own in the early 1990s and focused on his first love, the blues, gaining renown as a master guitarist, singer, and songwriter.
It was like the missing piece that made everything relevant. So what I did was I took all of those things that I'd been doing before, those experiences, took the blues and wrapped it in there, and what came out was Keb Mo.
If you're going to Mississippi, where that Delta sky is sweet and clear.
Now together they are Tajmo, the name of their new album, which features several songs they co-wrote, including Don't Leave Me Here.
Please don't leave me here.
On Take a Giant Step, one of Taj Mahal's earlier songs, they were joined on stage by his daughters.
If the river were whiskey, I was a diving dove.
And then there was the more raw acoustic duet of Diving Duck Blues, a song that Taj Mahal first recorded on his debut album back in 1968.
Baby, I never come up. Oh, I dive upon the bottom, baby, and I never come up.
I've heard you for a long time. Blues, folk, world music. I mean, different kind of elements, different kind of influences.
My grandparents come from the Caribbean. I grew up listening to Caribbean music as much as I listened to Southern gospel. My dad liked bebop. We had bebop and jazz and jump blues, you know, and spirituals and classical music, everything, you know. So it's like, it didn't hurt me because I heard all those things. It didn't take it away from. If I heard a real deep blues song, I don't care how much ragtime I listened to, that song was gonna get me. You know, it's gonna get somebody else too. They get a chance to hear it.
It's a beautiful, I mean, the beauty in it is just so deep. When I heard the old Muddy Water stuff, wait a minute, now that's what it is. I can feel the
rhythm.
I can feel the slave ship coming over the ocean.
Yep.
I could feel the Jim Crow, the cotton picking. I could feel the sense of pride welling up in a man out of his own, you know, circumstances that you have to rise up out of a challenging circumstances with
Right.
Jim Crow and slavery and stuff. I hear all of that, and that resonates universally.
But I mean, what you two have managed to do is make a life of this, right? Without worrying about the commercialism?
You know, there's commercialism. There's something working in life, in the universe, in the bigger picture that has nothing to do with commerce and money. And for me, if I found after 20 years of going after money, that the faster I ran after money, the faster the money ran.
Yeah, right. That sounds like a blues song.
Yeah. The faster I run up to the money, the money
And
ran
so I
faster
finally just got out of breath and stopped running.
Right.
Well, let's go drifting. And of course, neither of them has stopped playing. Together, the sound they're creating is both upbeat and uplifting.
Did we know what it was going to sound like at this point? No, but did we know it was going to be something good? Yeah, we knew it was going to be something good. I mean, it could have gone the other way, too. I could have said, boy, get out of here. I'm young.
That's what I thought might happen.
Senor Blues is what they call him. As always, there's the question of how long the blues will live on and who will take up the mantle. Taj Mahal and Keb Mo are supremely confident the music will take care of itself.
Taking on the blues is a big responsibility, so I understand why people would be concerned. But the music and riches is about happiness, so the blues will be fine.
Disciples, we got plenty of them.
Taj Mahal and Keb Mo, Tajmo, are touring the country throughout the summer and into the fall. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown in Boulder, Colorado.
And you, yes, you can watch Taj Mahal and Keb Mo perform Diving Duck Blues on our website at pbs.org/newshour. Now to a NewsHour Shares, something that caught our eye that might be of interest to you too. Just 5 years ago, Noura Afia was a young mother in Denver who enjoyed watching YouTube videos while taking care of her daughter. It turns out it was time well spent. She began producing her own videos on how to apply makeup, and now she's a sensation, becoming the first Muslim brand ambassador for CoverGirl. Mary McCarthy from Colorado Politics brings us her story.
From Easy Breezy, CoverGirl. CoverGirl was like the big break for me that I never thought I'd get. That was a national beauty campaign that I'd never thought I'd see anyone that looks like me, you know, featured in, or anyone that dresses like me.
From this humble home studio with her daughter's toys at her feet, Noura Afia has built an international following.
So I'm going to mix the translucent setting powder with a powder foundation to set.
With 340,000 followers on Instagram and over 200,000 subscribers to her YouTube channel, the 25-year-old makes a very good living with these tutorials on the art of applying makeup, the benefits of skincare, and how to wear the Muslim hijab.
I line the edge up to my scarf. I posted that I was in the Glamour magazine today, and someone said, "Congratulations, paving the way for Muslim women everywhere."
It was after Afia built up her own following online that makeup brands started reaching out to her.
All right, then I'm gonna take one of my favorite concealers.
Even though her career has taken off, Afia admits it's a complicated time to be a visible Muslim in the U.S. The atmosphere created by the election has made her more cautious, while at the same time, some in her community have been reaching out.
More people, I feel like, go out of their way to smile and are nicer, you know? Because I feel like those few people that are very angry or, you know, scared of Muslims, they are still few and far between.
The wider fashion world has begun embracing the hijab, with retail giant H&M featuring a veiled model and Nike recently launching a hijab sports line.
Hijab isn't just how you dress, it's supposed to be how you act. If someone that's never met a Muslim and they meet me, and that's their first experience, you know, I'm hoping that it's the best experience. And that wearing the hijab reminds me that it needs to be the best experience for everyone that comes across me.
Afia hopes the greater exposure of Islam in the fashion world will help reduce negative stereotypes of Muslim Americans.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Mary McCarthy in Denver.
And you could even ask, what took us so long? On the NewsHour Online, right now, we are keeping track of how states are responding to a Trump administration request for voting data. You can find the latest updates at our website. That's pbs.org/newshour. On the NewsHour all next week, correspondent Nick Schifrin brings us an in-depth look inside Vladimir Putin's Russia.
In Russia today, resurgent nationalism.
And patriotism is organic, it is not artificial.
Built by and around one man.
Russians told pollsters that suddenly they felt like a superpower again.
But for Putin's opponents,
people who have tried to leave the Putin family voluntarily have not fared very well.
A rare look inside Putin's Russia, all next week on the PBS NewsHour.
And that is the NewsHour for tonight. On Thursday, we are on the ground in Europe as President Trump speaks in Poland. I'm Judy Woodruff. Join us online and again right here tomorrow evening. For all of us at the PBS NewsHour, thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by BNSF Railway, supported by the Rockefeller Foundation, promoting the well-being of humanity around the world by building resilience and inclusive economies. More at rockefellerfoundation.org. And with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching PBS.